Letter 139. To my Lord Balmerinoch. John Elphinston, 2nd Lord Balmerinoch, was the only son by the first marriage of the Honourable Sir James Elphinston, 1st Lord Balmerinoch. He distinguished himself in 1633 for his opposition to the measures of the court in favour of prelacy, and particularly for opposing in Parliament the Act concerning the King's prerogative in opposing apparel on churchmen, and also the Act ratifying the acts previously made for settling the estate of bishops. Soon after, he was libelled and condemned to death as guilty of treason. However, after a long and severe imprisonment, he obtained from His Majesty a free, though reluctant, pardon. True to his former principles, he still continued to oppose the measures then pursued by government, and particularly the attempts to introduce the service book into Scotland. He was a member of the Glasgow Assembly, 1638, being returned as elder for the Presbytery of Edinburgh. His lordship, says Wood, was without exception the best friend the Covenanters had, as he not only assisted the party with his advice on all occasions, but also supplied them with large sums of money, by which he irreparably injured the very ample fortune he inherited from his father. He lived in habits of strict friendship with the chief elders of the Presbyterians, and was particularly intimate with Sir Archibald Johnston of Warriston. He had so strong a sense of justice that, having reason to suspect his father had made too advantageous a purchase of the lands of Ballenby in the county of Forfar, he, of his own accord, gave 10,000 merks to the heir of that estate by way of compensation. Wood's Cramond. He died suddenly in 1649, at the very time when commissioners, of whom he was one, were sent to treat with Charles II in Holland. Lamont's Diary, page 1. His happy obligations to Christ. Emptiness of the world. My very noble and truly honourable Lord, I make bold to write news to your lordship from my prison, though your lordship have experience more than I can have. At my first entry here, I was not a little casten down with challenges for old unrepented of sins, and Satan and my own apprehensions made a lie of Christ, that he hath casten a dry withered tree over the dyke of the vineyard. But it was my folly. Blessed be his great name. The fire cannot burn the dry tree. He is pleased now to feast with the exiled prisoner with his lovely presence, for it suiteth Christ well to be kind, and he dineth and suppeth with such a sinner as I am. I am in Christ's tutoring here. He hath made me content with a borrowed fireside, and it casteth as much heat as mine own. I want nothing but real possession of Christ, and he hath given me a pawn of that also, which I hope to keep till he come himself to loose the pawn. I cannot get help to praise his high name. He hath made me king over my losses, imprisonment, banishment, and only my dumb Sabbaths stick in my throat. But I forgive Christ's wisdom in that. I dare not say one word. He hath done it, and I will lay my hand upon my mouth. If any other hand had done it to me, I could not have borne it. Now, my Lord, I must tell your lordship that I would not give a drink of cold water for this clay idol, this plastered world. I testify and give it under my own hand that Christ is most worthy to be suffered for. Our lazy flesh, which would have Christ to cry down crosses by open proclamation, hath but raised a slander upon the cross of Christ. My Lord, I hope ye will not forget what he hath done for your soul. I think that ye are in Christ's count book as his obliged debtor. Grace, grace be with your spirit. Your lordship's obliged servant, Samuel Rutherford, Aberdeen, March the 13th, 1637.